everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would film a look that I've been wearing quite a lot lately for when I go out on a night time, whether it's for cocktails or for a meal or anything. This is kind of my go-to kind of nighttime look, kind of summery, not so summery. I'll probably call it summery just because that's the season. I think it is the first day of summer today, so this is definitely going to be a summery tutorial. There's quite a bit of a highlight going on, and I'm also using the Morphe 350, which has orange tones in, so that kind of classes as summery. Yes. So I really hope you enjoy this tutorial, everyone. Let's get to it. So to start, I've already done a few things. So I've gone ahead and popped on some Nivea post-shave balm, which I love. I'm obsessed with this thing. I've also buffed in a little bit of Soleil Tan De Chanel, something like that. This is basically like a cream bronzer, but you can use it as a base as well. And on a night out, I really like to start with this as a base on top of a bit of a primer, just to really bronze up my skin because I have got some fake tan on, and it just gives a really nice base, basically. So if I'm shiny, that's the reason. I've also filled in my eyebrows, because that's a little bit of a boring step, with the Anastasia Dipbrow-Soft brown, which is amazing. So let's get started. Whenever I do my makeup for a night out and I know it's going to be quite smoky, I always do my brows and my eyes first, just because it might drop down and ruin my skin if I do anything else like for the face first. So I'm going to start off with my eyes. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay primer potion first all over the lids. Now, once you've popped on a base on your eyes, it is so important to set that base, because if you don't, your eyeshadows most likely won't go on very well, and they're more likely to crease. And honestly, just applying a base and then setting it with a powder just creates the most flawless finish ever. So I just use a face powder that's going to match the rest of my skin tone, and this is the L'Oreal Infallible powder, and this is like ran out, but I really love this. And then I use my Morphe M524 big kind of flat brush. Okay, so now onto the eyeshadows. I'm going to use my Morphe 350 palette, which just looks like this. This has been in my recent favourites video, so pop over there if you want to see what I think about this product. Obviously I love it. So I'm going to first of all start with a few transition-y colours. So if I hold it like this, something like this, or just anything kind of matte and kind of a light medium brown, I'm going to use with my Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease Brush, and just mix a few of those kind of transition colours together and pop them through the crease. So once the transition colour's on, I start building up the colours in the crease. So I'm just going to get a 227 from Zoeva and use this colour here, which is kind of like Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek. I first pop this in the outer corner, packing it on, and then slightly bringing it through the crease as well. And then go back to my first brush that I used, the Zoeva one, and buff this through. And don't worry about how far out you go, because you can clean that up once you've finished. So once that's completely blended, I then go into a darker brown, so like this shade here, using the same kind of technique, but focusing this more just in the outer corner rather than bringing it through, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack this in the outer corner and then blend it through the crease so it's a lot softer, and the darkest colour is in the outer corner, if that makes sense. Back to this blending brush, which is my favourite to blend with, if you hadn't guessed. So you can see it's starting to get messy underneath, but don't worry about that. So for the darker colours, I like to use more of a tapered brush, and this is the Luxe Petite Crease from Zoeva. And I'm going to grab a colour like this one, any of these kind of like darker browns, just to build up the outer corner. back to the blending. When I'm blending, I'm making sure to do very small motions so it's not just like completely going throughout the whole crease. And for my absolute darkest colour, I'm going to use this colour here, which is practically black now. Back to the blending brush. Once I've built up that colour, I like to use a very light shimmery eyeshadow on the centre of the eye. So this palette has a few good ones I could use. I'm going to use this one today. To blend this, I like to get this brush here, which is the 227, which should have that kind of warm colour on it, warm brownie colour. And I like to just drag this kind of very small motions down the kind of seam of where those two colours meet. I'm then just going to grab a makeup wipe and pop my finger in it. It helps if you're wearing fake nails because you get that really sharp edge. And I'm just going to go underneath the eyes where any of that's fallen down first. Some of that Soleil Tan De Chanel will be coming off, but I'll just pop a bit more on. And then I always, when I'm finished with my eyeshadow, I go over with this Morphe M504 brush, which is quite large, and I use this where my kind of transition colour is, that goes kind of up into my brow, if you know what I mean. And this is completely clean, and this is going to make sure that that blend is absolutely seamless. I'm then going to pop a really small layer of roller lash from Benefit on my eyelashes, and I'm going to pop on some of these lashes here, which are the Prima lash. This is a different packet, but I'm just going to use some that I've used previously. I put them on yesterday and they're still absolutely fine to reuse. I get these off Amazon and they are so much like the Demi Wispies from Ardell, and they're about £1.50 or something crazy like that. And honestly, I was so impressed when I put them on yesterday. They are really, really comfortable, and I wore them all day, and even with my hay fevery eyes, didn't disturb my eyes at all. So I use these with some duo eyelash glue. So now my eyelashes are on, I'm going to just leave my eyes and come back to them later. And I'm going to start with foundation. So I'm going to mix L'Oreal True Match in Golden Beige, which is my nice tanned colour, with the smallest amount of Studio Fix from MAC. Applied that foundation, I'm going to go ahead and conceal and slightly highlight. So this is MAC Pro Longwear in NC15, which is going to be very pale for my skin colour now, but it's going to give me a lovely under eye highlight. So I've just, especially when I'm going out on a night, I do want really highlighted skin. So yeah, this does all blend into the foundation, don't worry. Back with my beauty blender. So now that's blended in, it looks like it's not blended here, but it's literally just the camera. I'm going to go in with my NYX or NYX, or however you want to say it, Translucent Powder, which was in my recent favourites video because I love it. If you want to bake, go ahead, but I feel like it does make my under eyes a little bit white, especially when I'm tanned. So I get the tiniest little bit of powder just on the tip of my beauty blender, like a really small amount. I'm not getting like loads. And then you don't have to do this, you can just use your powder of choice. I like to actually use this to set my whole face with. I don't use a beauty blender, I lightly dust it on with a Real Techniques powder brush. But I get a small amount and then like buff it into the lid and then set my whole face with it, and it's a really, really good all over face setting powder. And because it's translucent, it's not going to make my foundation any other colour. Okay, so now I like to go into contour, and using a tiny little bit of kind of a banana powder underneath my eyes. I would usually use my Shade and Light Kat Von D palette because it's my favourite, but yesterday my mum very kindly bought me this NYX Contour Palette as a treat because I'd been away over the weekend and she surprised me with it. So I was very proud of her actually. She went to the NYX counter and literally bought something by herself when I was on the train, and she surprised me with it. And she chose well. Hopefully this is good. I really have high hopes for it because I love that NYX powder, and this basically isn't coming out very well on camera. But it's got a lovely highlight which is shimmery here, and then a kind of vanilla powder here which is matte, and then a banana powder, and then another shimmery highlight. It's slightly shiny, it's more satin, and then it's got a range of, are they all matte? Yeah, contour powders here. Most likely mix these middle two because this is quite grey toned and I really like that. So I'm going to mix those middle two. I'm going to begin with the grey tone rather than mixing them both. I'm going to begin with the grey tone and then go in with the other tone after. Oh wow, that's very pigmented. I'm going in with my Luxe Sheer Cheek brush. Oh, it's not patchy either. Dragging this up to the temples. I don't know if you can see how well that's contouring. I am going to blend it out, don't worry. Nothing worse than unblended contour. For under the eyes, I'm going to mix a little bit of the banana powder with the vanilla powder, so these two, and just literally the tiniest amount because this is very pigmented. I'm going to bronze up now with a little bit of Nars Laguna bronzer. What is this? And I use my Luxe Sheer Cheek. Is that what it's called? Luxe Face Definer from Zoeva. It's my favourite bronzer. Now to highlight I would usually use Soft and Gentle from MAC, but I am going to try the really white highlight here with my Morphe M510 and use the tiniest little bit of that and see. It's not as good as my Soft and Gentle. I'm going to go with a little bit of Soft and Gentle just because I like that highlight. Don't know if you can see it. Oh, it just gives such a nice like gleam. The eyes, now that I've finished the skin, go back to my Morphe palette and using a small Morphe M507 brush, I'm going to smoke a few of those shades that I used earlier onto the eyes. So beginning with that cocoa bear kind of colour. I'm now going to apply some mascara, and the bottom lashes I'm going to use Roller Lash from Benefit. The top lashes I'm going to use L'Oreal Voluminous, which is really good, and the wand is very soft so it's not going to damage the false eyelashes. Okay, so that is the skin and the eyes done. I'm now going to go onto the lips. I'm going to use Decay from Kylie. I didn't know what to use, and I honestly have been using these the most, especially when I'm going out in the night time or drinking, because they last so long. Like, it's amazing. So I'm going to use the lip liner and then the liquid lipstick. Finished makeup, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment and like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Yes, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll be doing some more soon now that I'm home from university. Yes, so I really hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.